Hi, I'm Jen, Deputy Digital Editor at Runner's World, and today I'm going to be sharing some top tips on how to perfect your marathon taper so that you feel fresh and ready to perform on marathon day. So tapering is the process of cutting back on training so that your body can absorb all the hard work that you've done during the peak phase of your training. And the goal is that you can arrive on race day feeling energised and ready to perform, but also having maintained your fitness. So tapering begins in the final 2 or 3 weeks before race day by reducing the duration of your runs. Now the recommendation is for volume to be decreased by 30% in the final 2 weeks and then by 50% in race week. However, the frequency of your runs will stay the same, so if you've been running 4 or 5 times a week, you'll continue to run 4 or 5 times a week, but those runs will just be shorter. Now you might be surprised or perhaps even a little bit disappointed to hear that the intensity of your runs is going to stay the same and actually might even increase a little bit, and that's to make sure you've still got some spring in the legs. So if you're following a marathon training plan, all of this will already be built into that taper period, so you don't need to worry too much about it. But what is really important is to listen to your body and perhaps do a little bit of tweaking of that plan here and there according to how you feel. Because getting to the start line in a place where you feel physically and mentally ready to race is completely personal. So if you're feeling tired and like you need more rest, you could always drop a session 1 week or change it for something a bit easier, like a nice easy aerobic run. However, we wouldn't recommend making any drastic changes, as it's really important to maintain consistency during those last few weeks to keep them feeling as normal as possible. We'd also avoid doing anything which is going to put you at risk of injury, so don't go going into the gym and picking up weights that are heavier than you've lifted before, or going and doing a really hard interval session. This period is all about just maintaining that fitness and keeping you ticking over. So there's also some lifestyle adjustments that you can make in those weeks leading up to the race to ensure that you get to the start line feeling physically and mentally ready to race. So first of all, we wouldn't recommend putting loads of social plans in the diary, for example, which will kind of leave you feeling kind of mentally and physically fatigued. Instead, try and schedule in plenty of time for relaxation and just doing things that make you feel calm. So yoga or cooking or reading, whatever it might be, just schedule in plenty of time for calming activities. It's also a good idea to think about your sleep and nutrition, so if you can, try and get to bed a little bit earlier and just make sure that you're eating really well and including plenty of carbs in those days leading up to the race. Also, don't compare yourself to what others are doing. You know, you might have friends that are running a marathon and be kind of panicked by all these sessions that they're doing. Don't compare yourself, just focus on what you're doing, think positive, and just think about all the positive training sessions you've had over the last few weeks.